everyone. So this is a tutorial that I was being pushing for quite some time. This is the Korg SQ1. This is an analog and digital sequencer. It is basically a recreation of the Korg SQ10 sequencer of the 1970s, which means it's a little bit limited for today's standards, but it's still very fun to use, and I hope I can share with you some of my tricks and secrets. So this is a sequencer, and sequencers don't do audio, so I have to talk unless you want to listen to a silent movie. But I'll be using the Korg vocal keys, and the Korg vocal bass has synthesizers to demonstrate the MIDI capabilities of this device, and also the Arturia microbrute to demonstrate the CV outputs. So regarding connectivity, this device is powered by 4 AA batteries that go on the back, actually in the underside, and also can be powered by USB. There's a power button. There's on the left side some control structures for the sequencer, and also there's 2 rows of knobs and buttons giving you 2 times 8 steps, so you can have it as a 16-step sequencer or has 2 8-step double sequences. And on the top part you have a series of outputs. You have the Little Bits output that goes into Korg Little Bits prototype model. Unfortunately, I don't have that model with me, but Korg has ever since released the Little Bits CV and MIDI modules, so this output is now rather redundant. Next you have the MIDI output. This is in a 3.5mm jack, and you have to use the supplied adapter. This comes with the device and follows the same standard as the electrics, but not the same standard as, for example, stuff from Arturia or Innovations. So be careful with that, don't mess around with your adapters. Next you have 2 pairs of control voltage and gate output. Gate output A, or control voltage A, is the main CV gate output, and control output B only works when you have 2 sequences going on. And finally you have the sync in and out plugs to connect to the Volca or the Minilog or the electrics. Now regarding limitations, every piece of hardware has its own limitations, and in the previous tutorial series of the Volca sample, some people were complaining about the limitations of the device. Well, it comes with the territory. Every hardware has limitations. The most prominent limitation on the Korg SQ1 is the lack of a display, so you cannot dial a precise value for tempo, and also there is no tap tempo. So tempo is always a messy issue with the Korg SQ1. Also, the lack of a display prevents you from knowing which note goes into which step. The Korg SQ1 has some scaling and range modifiers that we'll see in the next episode, but is locked into C major, C minor and chromatic scales, which means that you can more or less get around with some, but it is always too troublesome to have your sequence in a given scale that is not C major or C minor. So I already have my vocal keys connected to my mixer, and just playing a very simple patch. I'm going to use a USB cable connected to a phone charger. So it's just a USB bus voltage. Okay, I'm having some trouble. As you know, USB jacks only go in at the third try. I think, okay, I got it. So let's turn on the SQ1, but first let's connect one to the other. So I'm using a very short 5-pin MIDI cable. Just use the supplied adapter, connect to the SQ1 and then to the MIDI in part on the front panel of the vocal keys. And now turn on the SQ1. Let's just dial all the knobs in the sequencer to the left. And also the sequencer knob is all the way to the left. And the speed, which is the tempo, and the duty knobs are at about halfway. And let's hit play and see how it goes. Okay, if you notice, there's something that you can see. When I press the play button on the SQ1, it starts and stops the sequencer of the vocal keys, and that's because it's sending a MIDI signal to turn on the sequencer. There are a few ways to get around it, but we'll look into it in the future episodes when I discuss the MIDI capabilities of this device. For the time being, this is it. Please leave any questions you have in the comments. I'll try to answer them either in the episodes or in the comments, or perhaps I can even do a Q&A episode at the end of this tutorial series. Let me just say that although the sequencer goes up and down alternating between the roads, I honestly prefer the next mode. So when I change this knob here, it is more familiar for me because it's like when I'm writing, so it goes one row at a time, and that's quite more comfortable. So I think I hope you enjoy it, and I hope to see you next time in the second episode of this tutorial series. Until then, have fun and enjoy your sequencer.